Kim Cheon for the session. Round of applause for her, please.
여러분, 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 만나서 반갑습니다. 오늘 아침 식사요? 맛있게 먹었어요? 밥 먹었어요? 네, 좋습니다. 여러분, 안녕하세요. Hello, everyone. 네, it's very nice to meet you today again. So, first, let me briefly introduce myself. And I'm Kim Se-yeon. I'm one of most of Kims in Korea. Yeah, I study Korean language education, and I currently teach Korean language and culture at the Inco Center here in Chennai. Oh, can I ask you who is studying Korean in this room? I could see only one or two, three, four. Then, are you studying German, the rest of them? No, you're not studying Korean and German neither? Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I teach two things to Indian students. Most of my students are beginners or intermediate learners who are studying Korean for the first time of their life or trying to improve their communication skills. And in my classes, I try my best to create lessons that are quite easy and follow enjoyable. I make some quizzes so that we can try some reviews and we share some feedbacks for our assignments. We try making some Korean foods like bibimbap and some Korean coffee and hwate as well. Yeah, so we can do together sometimes as well. I believe that language learning should not feel like a really heavy thing or a responsibility or a stressful task. Instead, it should feel like something you can approach comfortably with curiosity. So I always try to design classes that students can attend without feeling too much pressure. Yeah, so nowadays, of course, learning a language is very meaningful activity. I think that's why you're learning German and Korean as well. It helps us develop our thoughts, and it also broadens the way we see other cultures and other people. Through language, we can understand different perspectives and ways of living. However, while language learning can be rewarding, it can also feel very difficult sometimes. And many learners experience moments when they feel tired, frustrated, or even discouraged. Some people take a break from studying for a while, and some people even stop learning completely. This is actually very common. It happens to me as well, regardless of their level, nationality, or their mother tongue. But when learners start to feel that stopping or struggling means they are failing, language learning becomes much more stressful than it needs to be. In my experience, one of the biggest reasons for this burden is the pressure to use grammar and vocabulary perfectly. Many learners feel that must speak correctly all the time and that making mistakes is something to avoid at all costs. Among the students I have met so far, many of them have experienced exactly this kind of pressure. So today I'd like to talk about something that I think is very important for anyone who studies a language. I want to share some thoughts about how we can reduce the burden feel when learning a language. And to explain this idea, I like to start with my own story. Yeah, so this is a real story. To be honest, I used to be someone who felt a huge amount of pressure about making mistakes in vocabulary and grammar. Ironically, I actually love studying languages, like like you. I've studied uh, some other foreign languages like Chinese, Japanese, and Hindi as well. I'm spending a lot of time to speaking Tamil recently, though. Yeah, so I have always been interested in learning new languages and discovering new cultures. But in the beginning, language learning was not something I enjoyed very much. In fact, this is partly because of the way foreign languages are taught in Korea. In Korea, we need to be perfect. There's no enough. We don't we don't say that's enough or yeah, if you can till here, then it's okay. They always need A plus, A plus plus, or 100 scores. So many students start studying English at a very young age. For many years, English education has focused mainly on reading and writing. So students spend a lot of time studying their grammar rules, memorizing vocabulary, and solving exam problems. Because of this educational environment, many Korean learners become very sensitive to make mistakes. They tend to focus strongly on whether a sentence is grammatically correct or whether the vocabulary is used perfectly. And I was not very different from the most other Korean students. I was one of them. Without realizing it, I became a learner who constantly tried to correct mistakes and produce a perfect sentences. Before speaking, I would think very carefully about grammar and vocabulary. I wanted every sentence I said to be correct. But after some time, I started to notice a problem. When I tried to speak English, I would first translate in the sentence in my head and then try to say it in English. At first, this seemed manageable, but those sentences and grammars get so harder and it became more complex. This process became much harder for me. It would pause for a long time before speaking. Sometimes I would completely lose the chance to say something because I was still thinking about the correct grammar. And most of my students, my Korean students, they have this problem as well. Eventually, I realized that my desire to speak perfectly was actually preventing me from speaking at all. That was a very important turning point for me. So after that, I began to consciously let go of my obsession with perfect sentences. Instead of focusing on perfection, I tried to expose myself to the language more naturally. For example, I started watching dramas in English. I also began listening to English songs or podcasts more often. At first, I didn't understand very much. Sometimes I could only understand a few words or short phrases, but I kept listening anyway. Who knows? I'm not understanding. So even now, my English is far from perfect. When I watch English dramas, I still cannot understand every single line of dialogue. But an interesting thing is that I can understand the overall context. I can understand the emotions of the characters, the situation they are in, and the flow of the story. I should like Korean dramas and K-pops. And for me, that was already a big improvement. More importantly, something else started to change. Yeah. When I stopped focusing myself to be perfect, I felt much more comfortable using the language. I was no longer afraid of making mistakes. And because of that, I began speak much more often. For example, whenever I learn a new word, I try to use it at least once or twice on the same day. It didn't matter if the sentence was not perfect. What mattered was that I tried. So for now, I have 6 or 7 pages of Tamil words or phrases. So this simple change in attitude make a huge difference because I no longer felt so much pressure. I was able to explore other languages as well. So from then I started studying Japanese, Chinese, Mandarin, and Hindi. And these days I'm also studying Tamil. Many of you probably already know that my English and Tamil are not perfect, but at the same time, you probably know that I have a strong interest in Tamil culture and language, and about India as well. Let me remind you of something. When I first greeted you in Tamil and said, "How are you?" in Tamil, do you remember what was your reaction? Yeah, I remember most of you smiled, some of you looked surprised, and many of you seemed happy to listen to that. Even though my Tamil was not perfect, so this experience taught me something very important. Even if you can't speak a language perfectly, you can still show that you're interested in the culture and the people who speak that language. And that alone can create a very meaningful connection. In fact, I think this kind of effort often makes a person more attractive and much more approachable. This is not something that happens only to me. The same thing happens to many of you as well. So for example, when Korean people meet foreigners who speak even a small amount of Korean, like 안녕하세요 or 감사합니다, something 주세요, 메뉴 주세요, 물 주세요, or those things, they often feel very happy, even if the grammar is not perfect, whether your pronunciation is not perfect. They usually think the person is friendly and admirable for trying. So that is why when I meet people who are preparing to travel to Korea, I always give them a simple piece of advice. I tell them to learn a few basic greetings and expressions before they go. Simple phrases like saying hello, saying thank you, or ordering food politely. So these small efforts can make a surprisingly big difference. When local people see that you're trying to speak their language, they often become much kinder and more helpful. And I think you feel the same way. Sometimes they even go out of their way to assist you. In Korea, whenever you ask for help to Korean people, they will help you. They'll obviously help you. And they're gonna say, try in English. You can speak Korean. So you're gonna say, yeah, you can speak in Korean. We can talk in Korean. But they're gonna say in English because they respect you and they want to help you. And in some cases, if you go to a restaurant and try to order in Korean, the staff or 사장님 might even give you an extra dish that you didn't order. They don't charge you more, but you get more food. With just one saying 안녕하세요 and 감사합니다. So of course, this doesn't happen for every time, but it does happen sometimes. And I've seen those cases so much. And moments like that make traveling and cultural exchange much more memorable. When we try to learn a new language or understand a new culture, something interesting happens. We become more open, more curious, and more understanding of the world. In many ways, this effort makes us more interesting and attractive person. as individuals. A positive and curious attitude towards other cultures can also open many unexpected opportunities in life, like your job as well, your some more higher education you can get, and we can meet unexpected friends, like today. Sometimes the language itself may not directly help your career or studies, because most of them are beginners or intermediate. But the mindset that comes from learning a language can change the way you approach life. If you focus too much on what is correct and what is wrong with your assignments or something, language learning can feel very stressful. But if we focus more on our own experiences and our own stories, improvement will come naturally over time. During that process, we also learn to be more patient and more forgiving toward ourselves. Because we know how difficult it is to be perfect in one language. During the process, we also learn to be more patient, and that is something very valuable. When we let go of unnecessary pressure, we gain confidence. And confidence creates a very positive kind of energy. For me personally, I believe this kind of energy is one of the most valuable strengths we can have. Achieving a truly perfect and professional level in a foreign language is extremely difficult. Even if it is your ultimate goal, I believe there is something we need to practice first. We need to learn how to accept ourselves as we are, and your language skill as well. When we accept our mistakes and treat them as a natural part of learning, the journey becomes much easier. And you can enjoy that journey as yourself as well. In fact, this mindset will help you reach your goals more effectively, much easier, and that would be the quickest way, because you will no longer be afraid of trying. Before I finish today, I hope you take a moment to think about your own experience with language learning, because we have different hometowns, different first languages, and your thoughts. What kind of mindset have you had while studying languages? Have you ever felt the same kind of pressure that I described today? Like so much pressure of vocabulary, grammars. If you have thought about these questions even once, then I hope today's talk will be helpful for you. So there's a Korean expression that says something similar to this idea. The more you wander and struggle in a place, wherever, it could be a language, it could be your work field, the more it eventually becomes your own land. In the same way, the more you struggle with a language, the more it eventually becomes your own language. So we have all different languages for ourselves. So today I shared a part of my story with you, and someday I really hope you will share your stories with me as well. Because I'm pretty open to contact with you, like an email or something. Yeah. So maybe one day we'll be able to talk together in our own unique languages or backgrounds built from all the experiences we have had along the way. So I hope you and all the best to build your own story in your own land through languages. All the best to you, and thank you for Thank you very much for listening today. Hope you get a great time for today. And I know there's some other activities after this, like your German and Korean K-pop dances or songs, maybe. Yeah, that will be fun. Have fun today and hope you have a great time today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful and insightful session. It was truly a pleasure listening to those perspectives.
We now move on to the afternoon cultural program where we continue celebrating culture and creativity through music, dance, and expression. Let us begin the performances prepared by our talented students.
To begin, we have a Korean dance performance.
Please join us in warmly welcoming Divya Lakshmi, Asmita, and Kavinaya to the stage.
Sie sind großartig. Ma Sie sind großartig. Machen Sie mich fließig. Wie kann ich glücklich werden mit den kleinen Sachen? Ich will Zufriedenheit, will Glück und Freiheit. Ich möchte die Natur erkunden, nur die Schönheiten der Natur können mich zufriedenstellen. Dankeschön.
Thank you for that wonderful recitation. It was truly a pleasure listening to it. Now, we have Dr. Harizan Prasanna Kumar, Associate Professor of English Language and Literature, to distribute the certificates. Since the certificate students did not come, he'll be giving us the valedictory address.
Yeah, very good afternoon, one and all present here. So I'm happy to be a part of this workshop on speaking cultures, the power of language in a society. So I would like to appreciate the coordinators of this event, especially the team, the foreign languages team, and especially Dr. Krishnaya and Ms. Soumya for this wonderful event, and the culturals which happened in the morning, followed by the German session, and in the afternoon culturals and the Korean session. So I would like to appreciate all the efforts taken by our LCS team as well as the students. So I think you all can give a wonderful applause for all the participants of the cultural team. And I also congratulate all the students, those who are involved enthusiastically. And because, language is a powerful tool which shapes human personality. And I want you to involve as well as pursue whatever the languages you have chosen during your first year of your study. So that will take you to new heights, and that also will help you to get into placements. Because, nowadays when you go for interviews, especially the placements, the workforce, expects this sort of foreign language, additional languages. So whatever the languages you have opted during the course of your study, I want you to, continue those languages and try to complete at least the certification level of courses outside. All right. So once again, I appreciate the efforts that you have taken for this wonderful workshop. And I thank all of you. With this few words, I would like to conclude my address here. So once again, I thank you all the opportunity for, the head of the department as well as the coordinators and my EFL team. I mean, the LCS team is here, especially the foreign languages, for their, for the opportunity provided me to be here. Okay, thank you. Thank you all.
As we come to the final part of today's program, it's time to express our gratitude to everyone who made this workshop possible.
May I now invite Ms. Jasmine, Assistant Professor in Korean, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee, I feel honored to propose the vote of thanks. And first and foremost, I would like to express my extreme, sincere gratitude towards the God Almighty for enabling us, for all of us, um, with His grace and blessings, and so that we could come together and successfully conduct this program. I would also like to extend our deep appreciation to our Associate Dean, Sir CET, for the continuous encouragement and facilitating this initiative. His guidance and motivation have always played a significant role in making this event possible. And I would like to also express my heartfelt thanks to our respected HO head of the department, Dr. Kavita Nair, from the Department of Language, Culture and Society, for taking the time to be with us today. She's not present at the moment, but she has continuously guided us throughout the process, and her constant leadership and her support, it was invaluable and in shaping this program. Our special thanks goes to our distinguished guest, Ms. Kim Cheon, and also Ms. Smriti for accompanying her. We are truly grateful for your presence and sharing your valuable insights and your words and your expertise. They have greatly enriched today's session and inspired everyone here. I would like to acknowledge and thank all the participants who joined us from the various departments. Your active involvement and willingness to participate, willingness to learn, it has greatly contributed for the success of this program. And my sincere appreciation also goes to our fellow faculty members, Dr. Krishna sir, Ms. Soumya, Ms. Bhuvana, Ms. Jayati, Ms. Lata, Ms. Chandralekha, and Mr. Pulkit, for their constant support, their dedication, and their effort in organizing this program. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the technical team and our volunteers who did all the whose behind the scene work ensured that everything ran smoothly. And with this, we come to the end of this today's session. We hope this program marks the beginning of many more meaningful discussions and learning opportunities. Thank you all once again for being part of this event. Have a pleasant evening ahead.
Thank you, ma'am, for those words of gratitude.
As we come to the end of today's program, we would like to sincerely thank our respected speakers, respected dignitaries, faculty members, and all the participants for being a part of this wonderful workshop.
It has truly been a privilege for us to serve as the MCs for today's event and to witness such meaningful discussions on language and culture. Thank you all for being a wonderful audience and for making this event so special.
With that, now we move to the final part of the program.
May I request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
I request Ms. Lata ma'am, Assistant German Professor, to please come on the stage.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल भंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय घाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone.
We now invite you to join us for tea and coffee.
Please feel free to stay back, interact, and enjoy the refreshments.
Once again, thank you for being a part of today's workshop. We wish you all a pleasant evening ahead.
Thank you.